Hey, we are back with another Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge. And in this video, I'll be attempting to complete Pokemon Black version using the flying type and on only one attempt. Now, it's time to get this challenge started. We begin the game just showing off these graphics and definitely trying out some new strategies, new tactics, new rules for these Nuzlocke challenges. Since the first flying type we really can't capture until after the first gym, I decided to kind of make one my starter, just using Pidove as a starter here. Might just do that with all my hardcore Nuzlockes that when you can't obtain the type early on, might as well just put it in. So I decided to replace Tepig with Pidove here. Just to retain that type effectiveness, giving Bianca the Snivy and Sharon going to retain the Oshawott. So the first battle here definitely wasn't too much of an issue since Bianca does weaken with a Snivy, which is, weak. Snivy is grass, which is going to be weak to Pidove's flying type. The one issue with Pidove starting off with the low level here is that Pidove does not have any good physical attacks, doesn't learn any good physical attacks until much later, so just gonna have to rock out with the low special attack stat, but at least we have the stab move of Gust. It's also super effective against Snivy, so that's a plus. And also with Pidove's ability, Big Pecs to negate all the defense lowering stats there. So after a couple of Gusts nearly taking out Snivy, but Snivy did get a critical hit tackle there, and deciding to go for the Leer for some reason. I guess the guy doesn't know about the ability of Pidove. But one more Gust there was enough to take out Snivy, ending the first rival battle, first battle in the game with relative ease here. So after just kind of trashing the room and just seeing the aftermath of a Pokemon battle, I don't know who's climbing up on the walls here. Sharon definitely just kind of heals our team up, and we're going to be challenging him next, which is something I did like about this game, having the dual rivals and also just battling them separately throughout various points in the game. I thought that was a nice little touch for Gen 5. So we're going into the battle here, and even though I don't have any type effective moves against the Oshawott, at least the Oshawott doesn't have any effective moves against Pidove, so pretty much of a wash here. The only concern being that Pidove only has Gust as a damaging move, and Gust is going to be doing pretty pitiful damage, as you can see here, doing just kind of worthless damage, so it's going to be a slog, as Oshawott does get a quarter of my health. Just going with the Gust, that's the only thing I really can do, hoping that, as you see, hoping that Oshawott does go for the Tail Whip, and my Big Pecs can negate that. So going with another Gust, taking it down to the yellow as it goes for a tackle. So I'm in critical hit range to take me out, but it goes for the Tail Whip again for some reason as I go for the Gust, securing the win. So yeah, I definitely could have lost the run very, very early on here against these first two battles, just depending on the type of roll. But luckily we did get out of there with minimal critical hits and minimal loss there. So I allowed to nickname my Pidove Harry here as we head over to Akumula Town to meet N after hearing Team Plasma's speech and him trying to convince that all Pokemon want to be released out into the wild. Not hearing that nonsense, decided to battle him, as he's just sending a Purloin as my go-to for the time being is only Pidove. It's going to be Pidove for the foreseeable future here until I defeat the first gym leaders. So Purloin opens with the Scratch as I open with the Gust, which again doesn't do too much damage, which is pretty expected. At this point I'm just kind of hoping that I don't get the lucky string, or the unlucky strings in this case, the unlucky string of critical hits against Pidove taking it down. But luckily, even though Purloin doesn't have, I don't think this one is carrying any defense lowering moves, it does have Growl, which since Gust is a special move, my attack stat lowering I'm not too concerned about. So as long as I continue going for the growl, I think I should be fine. But the scratches aren't really doing too much damage at this point, and pretty much caught up as far as the pace with the gusts, taking it down to a red. So it goes for another scratch, not really doing too much damage to be concerned as I go for the final gust, finally taking this thing out. So that's going to be a theme with all these battles of just kind of hanging in there until the other Pokemon faints. So moving on to the first gym leader here, and since this gimmick of the gym is that instead of being a triple battle, which this generation did introduce, it decides to just kind of rotate to whatever's going to be the type effective with the starter that you chose. And since Pida was in the type big spot, I have to face Cress here. So he leads with a Lillipup, which just goes for the workup, which isn't a bad strat. I kind of have to take this thing down quickly as I go for just 2 quick attacks here, taking it down to yellow, which is looking like it's going to be a 3-hit KO. Finally taking out this Lillipup, not taking too much damage, luckily. That workup boost, those workup boosts could definitely outpace Pida here very quickly. So he sends in his last Pokemon, Panpour, and then he just uses workup right off the bat as I go for the Leer, trying to get the defense drop. Unfortunately, I think this is the only one I could really go for before I decide I have to just start causing damage, because these workup boosts are going to start stacking very quickly, and I do not want to deal with those problems. So with 1 quick attack, almost taking half health, it's looking like it's going to be a 3-hit KO as I go for another quick attack, taking it down to low yellow health as it goes for the water gun, taking me down to low yellow. But my Orange Berry does heal me up as he goes for the potion on the next turn. So going for another quick attack here, it's looking like it could take it out in another hit, so I just go for the quick attack, hoping for a high roll, and I get the KO, winning me the first gym badge. And then also just getting Air Cutter, which even though Pida is not a really great special attacker, it is good to get a stronger version of the Gust here, just for that damage and the high crit ratio. So after the first gym, I finally make it to this cave, whose name I'm forgetting, and I run into a Woobat, which I summarily catch, adding it to the burgeoning flying team. I nickname it Ron. As we go to the second gym, and these Herdiers are definitely a problem for this in this gym here. So this last gym trainer before the gym leader goes for the X defend, just raising this Herdier's defense, but it doesn't really matter since I have the special moves here. Just going for the Air Cutter, just for the high critical hit chance. Unfortunately, I don't get it after using 2, and it does go for the Leer, which my big pecs kind of negate. It goes for a Tackle, which does some solid damage as I go for another Air Cutter, not getting the critical hit. It goes for another Tackle, which kind of at this point I don't have any berries to kind of give my team. So it goes for another Bite, or goes for a Bite, which gets a flinch, unfortunately, bringing down to low red. At this point I decide to, if I was going to wind up sacrificing a Pokemon, I'm definitely going to sacrifice Woobat instead. So I send in Woobat as it goes for the Tackle, which does substantial damage, and it does outspeed Woobat, and just taking out Woobat in 1 hit and 2 hits there. So going back into Pida, I'm hoping that I can get just something on this on a quick attack, but unfortunately I don't get the kill there, as Herdier does use Bite and take out Pida, ending the run. Now, I did have Pyrite on this team just for the HM stuff, but at this point the run has been wiped. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next ones. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.